Good morning, everyone. This is another Bottom Line Thursday. This is Chris Beyer. I've got my two guests, Mr. Chris Bowling and Mr. Brad Johnson.
Good morning.
Gentlemen,
Good morning.
welcome to the formal Bottom Line Thursday. I'm learning, Brad. I'm learning. So today, what do we got, Brad? We're talking about a dispute.
Let's talk about the trend that we've seen that
Yes.
when providers and insurance companies get to an impasse, how
Yeah.
it's going to the airwaves or it's going to the press or
Yes.
online or all that. And it's kind of interesting. So I see it being a normal evolution. It seems like as the stakes become higher, you pull out more and more tools for the fight, right? But I think about what has gone on even pre-COVID, post-COVID. So let's say you're a healthcare provider. Let's say you locked into an insurance contract or a reimbursement arrangement with an insurance company, and you had no idea what you were about to be in for in terms of skyrocketing inflation, labor costs, even lack of being able to find people. And then knowing in the next few months that your contract is going to come due. So you really need a lot of catch-up dollars to probably make yourself whole for all that you kind of covered on the other end.
Right.
Now let's talk about the flip side of that. So the other end of that negotiating table is the insurance carrier. Every year that goes on, what do we see? The normal 6 to 8% rate increase, right? And there has to be an end in sight. Employers are telling us there's a point that they can't keep doing this. We get it. So those insurers have to represent the interests of their paying customers that we got to find a way to keep these cost increases down. We realize they'll go up, but 6 to 8%, how do we do that? So we got major collision going on. And so, one of the tools is to, leak information to the press. And we've all seen it. We've been a little insulated more than some in the Midwest.
Right.
So I want to share with you. So that's all backdrop. Sorry, it took me a little bit to get into the actual story. But in South Carolina, 50,000 people are caught in the crossfire, this latest one. The largest healthcare provider in the state of South Carolina is Prisma Healthcare. It's not one I'm familiar with, but they control a lot of hospitals, a lot of physicians' offices. They are in a very heated battle with United Healthcare. And, this might date me, but Jerry Springer, some of those, it's kind of playing out like that. And I won't read all the quotes, but Google it. And there's part of me that was laughing, and it's probably because it doesn't affect us firsthand, which is horrible. But I realize it could happen here. And so the one side leaked info to the press, the other side suing them because they did that. Your, violation of, confidentiality. It's just a mess. And will they solve it?
And 50,000 people are stuck trying to figure out if they're going to have coverage at a facility.
Yeah, not fun at all. So anyhow, that's the topic. So let's open that one up for discussion.
I get it. I get it on both sides, right? I mean, we all three have providers that are our clients, and we sit in those meetings and we hear about their costs going through the roof. They're paying their staff a lot more than they were. Their, rents have gone up, everything. And then I have clients that are like, nothing's going up at the pace of my health insurance. My profits aren't going up at the same pace. How in the world are we going to continue to afford this? And, that's where self-funding sometimes makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't. You can be a little bit more creative. But Brad, at the end of the day, how can anyone sustain their healthcare costs going up 10% a year?
Yeah. It's such a big, it just,
Got any thoughts, Beyer?
I mean, I think we're going to see more of it. We've seen it throughout, the Midwest before. A lot of it used to just be threats, but a couple of clinics and a couple of carriers have come to a formal impasse, and there's no coming back. And then you see that change as they're going to look at creating alternate health plans, and you've got employers trying to jump from one carrier to the other, and there's less carriers in the market. I just think I don't think anymore that it's just the threat. I think there's really going to be more impasses that come through, or we're just not going to get to an arrangement, and something different is going to have to happen.
I would agree. I think at first it was, hey, let's try this. Let's add pressure to the other side by letting the media fight it out, and then all the employees can call their respective insurer and or provider and apply pressure. But now, yeah, we've seen providers or insurers just say, nope, I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah,
We don't need you.
So
And, yeah.
So I was at a conference with a bunch of providers, and one of the guest speakers stood up there. And Brett, for some reason, I think you and I have talked about this. I don't know if you and I were there together or not, but this guest speaker stood up in front of a bunch of providers and said, in the next 5 years, you all better figure out how to survive at Medicare reimbursements. And if you can't, you're in trouble. And boy, did that crowd get angry.
Yeah.
Like, we can't make money at Medicare. We're losing, a ton of money on Medicaid. We, the commercial insurance people, are the only thing that's driving a profit. And this guy said, to the point, no one can afford healthcare trends to continue to go up 8.5% a year. And that coming down to some kind of insurance rate, whatever you want to say, reinsurance or claims costs, whatever. And he just said, I'm telling you, if you don't figure this out now, you're going to be in a world of hurt, because insurance carriers, Brad, to your point, are saying, enough, figure it out, learn how to run your business better. And they're saying it's not about running our business. It just costs more money to hire people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot to come here as we go into the next few years and figure out what really happened with inflation and COVID. That's still to be determined in terms of cost and what that means for the long-term sustainability of care.
But you know what's crazy? Demand. Let's talk about demand. So I have a new young primary care physician, started there, I think 3 years ago. Within 18 months, he had 2,500 patients.
Wow.
So it kind of goes back to one of our earlier ones that we just recorded about, PAs and, nurse practitioners. It's okay. So I'm supposed to control my costs, but the demand is so outrageous that I have to hire new physicians. I have to hire new staff to help that physician. There's a cost to that, right? So we, the consumer, are truly driving the cost because the demand is just so high. And it's like anything, demand will dictate a certain price.
Absolutely. More to come, I'm sure, as we get into 2024. More of these are going to come up.
Yeah. So I'll let you know if this ends up reaching resolution. But yeah, it's more to come on these for sure.
So when did the contract expire, Brad? Did they say in there if it was up on 1/1 or?
Yeah, I'm assuming 1/1.
Man, can you imagine trying to renew your clients in that state, not having a clue if the major healthcare provider is even going to be in your network? So you know what's going to happen. You're going to renew, and then and let's say, that they can't come to terms. Then on January or February, you're rewriting all of that business with a different carrier. What a train wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No fun.
We had a similar situation out east, and it fortunately that one resolved itself. It was a similar kind of size, but you sweat it and you make contingency plans and you hope you don't have to use them. And thank goodness we didn't, but at some point we'll have to.
Yeah.
I agree. Good stuff.
Good
Thanks
topic,
for
as always, Brad. Thank you.
All right.
We'll see
have
you.
a good one.
You too.
Yeah. Bye.